Hello and welcome to National Focus. I am Octavia Prosper. In the headline, Sports Division donates over $23,000 of cricket supplies to 9 schools. Inland revenue forgoes over $934,000 during a tax amnesty. And Dominica ranked at Nat Geo Top 25 Best of the World, Destinations on the Rise for 2021. Details of the headline stories and more when we return.
The hurricane season is less than a month away. Find out today what types of hazards that could happen where you live. Hurricanes can cause many hazards, including flooding due to heavy rainfall, large waves along the coast, strong winds, landslides, and falling rocks. Determine your risk and be prepared for any eventuality. A message from the Government Information Service.
The Ministry of Sports, Culture and Community Development, through the Sports Division, has made a donation of cricket equipment at a cost of $23,371 to 8 secondary schools and the Dominica State College. The schools who received the equipment are the Portsmouth Secondary, Isaiah Thomas Secondary, Cassie Bruce Secondary, the Dominica Grammar School, Goodwill Secondary, Pierre Charles Secondary, the Northeast Comprehensive, the St. Mary's Academy, and the Dominica State College. Minister for Sports, Honorable Rosalind Paul, says amidst the COVID-19 pandemic, given the financial constraints, government sees the need to offer support to schools.
And today we are privileged in the Ministry of Sports, Culture and Community Development, even amidst the COVID-19 pandemic, that we can be here today to offer this continued support to our schools. Today, we are providing cricket equipment to secondary schools, and that type of support is very important to the development of cricket at schools. Each school will receive 2 bats, 3 pairs of batting pads, 2 pairs of batting gloves, 1 pair of wicket-keeping gloves, 1 pair of wicket-keeping gloves, and 1 pair of wicket-keeping pads, bat rubbers, cricket balls.
Minister Paul says this donation is very important and can be considered an investment in the future of Dominica's youth.
And this investment is seen as very, very important. It is an investment in the future of our young people, of our young cricketers at the secondary schools, and can be a success so that you can emerge on the regional and international scene. We therefore encourage you as young people to participate in sports as a means of channeling your energies in positive direction. There are negatives out there, but there are so many more opportunities for the positive, and cricket is one of them. So we encourage you to channel your energies into such positive direction.
Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Education, Human Resource Planning, Vocational Training and National Excellence, Mrs. Chandler Hyacinth, thanked the Sports Division for this donation. Mrs. Hyacinth said the Ministry of Education continues to place emphasis on sports development.
It's my pleasure indeed to be here this morning to express our deepest thanks to the Ministry of Sports for their contribution towards sports in our schools. The Ministry of Education places high emphasis on sports development, and in particular individual development in sports. And we want to register our sincerest thanks to the Ministry of Sports for their contribution in a tangible way to that development. Certainly you have helped to augment what exists at our schools, and you are contributing towards the development of cricket in all our schools.
The Permanent Secretary encouraged all the students to do more physical activities for a more holistic development, as she made reference to the Ministry of Education's mantra that all learners must succeed.
I want to use this opportunity to encourage our schools, not just to encourage physical team sports, but to encourage every individual, every learner in schools to do more physical activity, if we are to promote healthy living, physical exercising, if we are to contribute towards the reduction on non-communicable disease, sports, physical activity is one way we can do that.
The Inland Revenue Department is encouraging Dominicans to take advantage of the tax amnesty announced at the 2020-2021 national budget. Prime Minister and Minister for Finance, Honorable Roosevelt Skerrit, announced that government would grant a tax amnesty from August 1 to November 30, 2020, due to the extraordinary circumstances currently facing the world, particularly Dominica, just 2 years after the devastation of Hurricane Maria.
This year is an extraordinary one, particularly for us in Dominica, where COVID-19 has followed so closely on the heels of Hurricane Maria. That is why government has decided to grant a tax amnesty. Effective August 1, 2020 to November 30, 2020, government will waive the interest and penalties due on outstanding personal income tax, withholding tax, corporate tax, excise tax, and value-added tax liabilities in respect of tax periods prior to 2019. These waivers will only apply if all the principal taxes owed for the respective tax types are paid between August 1, 2020 and November 30, 2020.
As this amnesty draws to a close, Revenue Officer Mr. Daniel Pinard reports that 55 individuals and companies took advantage of the opportunity, adding that the division collected over $1.5 million during the amnesty period.
Currently, 55 individuals and companies have taken advantage of the amnesty to settle liabilities prior to the income year 2019. A number of individuals have settled their outstanding tax payable in full or have entered into payment arrangements. We are encouraging those persons who have liabilities prior to the income year 2019 to visit and inform the department of their interest in settling these long outstanding taxes and take advantage of this tax amnesty that ends November 30th, 2020. Government have foregone a considerable amount of revenue in an effort to assist persons to be able to continue the operation of their businesses. During the period of amnesty, the division has collected just over $1.5 million, with the amount of revenue foregone is over $934,000.
So far, the government has foregone over $934,000 in taxes during the tax amnesty.
Examples of tax revenue foregone in respect of personal income tax, value-added tax, and withholding taxes. Personal income tax, a total outstanding tax liability of $152,341.20, but taxpayer had a savings of $94,519.20, that being penalties and interest. Value-added tax, a total outstanding liability of $77,393. The taxpayer had a tax savings of $42,674, that also being penalties and interest that was saved after payment of their tax liability. Withholding tax, an outstanding tax liability of $668,483. The taxpayer had a total savings of $248,483, that being penalties and interest after settling their liability in full. The examples given highlight the tax benefits of individuals who took advantage of the amnesty by settling their tax liabilities that accrued prior to the income year 2019.
Construction work is currently ongoing on the Grant for Storm Drains project. The government of Dominica recently signed a $1.2 million project with the Basic Needs Trust Fund, BNTF, for the construction of the drains. More in this report. The contract was signed by Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Sports, Culture and Community Development, Mr. Lucien Blackmore, and representative of Regional Contractors, Inc., Mr. Patrick Paul, at a signing ceremony held on Wednesday, September 2, at the Grandford Primary School. Member of Parliament for the Grandford constituency, Honorable Greta Roberts, says she is honored to be a part of the fulfillment of this project.
This I am very grateful for. I want to thank the government for that initiative. I want to thank them for at least considering the community and seeing the plight of our villagers and ensuring that it is done. And to all the villagers in the community, I am happy that we have started. I know it's a project that they have been talking about for a very long time. I remember since my mother was in government, this was a project that she always wanted to accomplish, and I'm happy that as her daughter, that I can at least do it in her memory.
Minister Roberts says the drains were much needed due to the challenges faced by residents over the years.
We have begun, and our people are very excited about the commencement of the project. It has been a challenge for many of the villagers in the community, especially those who reside very close to that area. With rainfalls every other day. And then it has been because of a lot of flooding in the area.
Over 12 individuals are currently employed under the project.
We are very happy that we can see the start of the project. I am extremely happy too that we have employed over 12 young guys on the project. And they are very happy to be there. They are working diligently.
Chairperson of the Grand Fond Village Council, Ms. Alma Jacob, says the council has maintained a close working relationship with the contractors.
Over the past month, since the beginning of the project, the council has had a very good relationship with the BNTF. Every month, they make a point of duty to meet with us to find out how far we are, what is happening, what has to be done. So we are very, very happy that this project is going on. The people will have a relief from soil erosion, water overflow, so it's very, very good, and we are very, very happy that this project is happening in our area.
Mr. Junior Charles is the supervisor of the project. He says the first phase is currently ongoing.
At the present time, we're working on the drainage. As you can see now, we are just on our first base, first on our slabs and getting everything organized. Then we have to put blocks. And it's about the first stage at the present moment.
Meantime, Mr. Lincoln Coffey, who is currently employed under the storm drain project, says he's pleased that other residents were also employed.
In part of the project, it will help to alleviate the problem right in the village, the top village, and also in the bottom part of the village. So I have to say it's a good project, which of course BNTF and the people of the village was waiting for. At the same time, I'll have to say, like, 1-2 fellas haven't get employed, and we'll put some more money in the pocket. And the villagers of Upper Village, I have to say, it's a timely welcome project.
It is easy for others to underestimate the value of this project, but residents are grateful. Mr. Henry Polidor, who has resided in the community for over 50 years, says the construction of the drain will bring him great relief.
I'm very pleased that project is going on, because I'm the one who's suffering the most. Whenever rainfall, heavy rainfall, that water going right on my yard. Close. I had a pit tender. You can see it at the back of me. It's a problem. And I am the one, whenever that drain block, I have to go in the rain and block it. It was affecting a lot of people lower down. But with me, it's a blessing.
Another resident, Mr. Martin Lockett, says the drains will assist with the alleviation of breeding grounds for mosquitoes in the community.
I must say that the project is very timely, and it will definitely enhance the health problem, and especially for the individuals who have been suffering during heavy rains because of blocked culverts and blocked drains, and will also assist us in keeping mosquitoes and breeding grounds for mosquitoes, and definitely will be a good project for the entire community, especially the boulevard part.
Local farmer Mr. Abraham Brown, who was directly affected by the previous drain, says the project is indeed timely.
We in that section of the village have been waiting a long time for the completion of that project. Because as you can see, it was started, I'm not even sure now, maybe a long time ago. And it was probably incomplete. And as a result of they doing part of it, like the water comes down with much more pressure, and that causes we on the lower side, it just erodes all of the land, and myself and the neighbors on the other side, the Banis and Brown, yeah. Those are the two families most affected. And now that has come, it has come at a good time, and we are really happy, yeah.
Mrs. Dorothy Prince expressed her thanks to government.
Government before have tried and council. But this one, I can tell you, as I can see so far, it is a very new project and it will be forever. Because right now I can see the people are willing to do something, the Labour government, in this drain. I have to say thanks a lot to all of you and the whole team that is working, the council, our PIREP. Oh, she's pushing forward to see a better community and a better people with the Labour Party government. I can say, thank God for this party.
Other residents expressed their gratitude to finally see the fruition of the project.
I'm very happy because it will benefit me in a long way, because the drain itself used to hold a lot of water and mosquitoes used to breed there. Seeing that it's doing now, I'm very happy.
It will benefit me in a good way because the small drain we had there, a lot of water used to run down anytime. It used to block up my area. So seeing that right now, it will be a little bit wider.
It's a mess around that area there. It blocked the culvert, so next day we just have to unblock that area there. And it caused a lot of mosquitoes in the area. So I think that's a good project in that area.
The project involves the construction of concrete drains, catch pits and retaining walls, as well as the construction of some culvert crossing road reinstatements. Garbage cranes will also be installed, and all residue, garbage and vegetation will be removed. Octavia Prosper for the Government Information Service. The National Geographic Traveller UK magazine, Nat Geo, has listed Dominica as one of its 25 best of the world destinations on the rise for 2021. In an article published earlier this month, Nat Geo said that COVID-19 pandemic has brought journeys to a standstill, but it has not quieted people's curiosity. Dominica, being the sole Caribbean destination, was listed in the 25 with its headline, Caribbean Adventure Tourism Helps Fuel this Climate Resiliency. Minister for Tourism, International Transport and Maritime Initiatives, Honorable Dennis Charles, describes this achievement as an important milestone for Dominica as travelers look for safer and extraordinary locations to visit.
We are very elated that our beautiful and safe haven, Dominica, has been bestowed this accolade by National Geographic Traveller UK, based on reviews and experiences by travelers. This is an important milestone for us, especially as travelers are looking for safer and extraordinary locations to visit. National Geographic has been in existence for over 130 years, and its publications reaches people in 170 countries and 43 languages every month. This is also a testament of our breathtaking natural sites, the sterling leadership and focus of our government on being the first climate resilient nation, and of course, our warmth as a people.
Minister Charles says visitor expectations should always be exceeded from entry to exit in order to continuously receive these accolades. She encourages all Dominicans to get on board in order to make this a reality. This excellent review from the National Geographic Traveller UK is commendable as the government of Dominica continues its efforts to becoming the first climate resilient nation in the world. You are watching National Focus. More when we return. Ministry of Health, Wellness and New Health Investment has identified 8 new cases of COVID-19. These cases include a 30-year-old Dominican male who denies recent travel and exposure to known COVID-19 cases, 19-year-old Nigerian female at All Saints University, 30-year-old female from high-risk country, 38-year-old male with travel history from the United Kingdom, 60-year-old male who was quarantined, a 24-year-old male from the Dominican Republic who was tested during contact tracing, and the last 2 cases are from high-risk countries. This now brings the total number of active cases to 12.
All of our active cases are asymptomatic. To date, none of our COVID-19 cases from since the onset of the pandemic, or since we identified the first case in Dominica, none of these cases required mechanical ventilation. We have, so far, a total of 68.
Dr. Johnson says Dominica is currently experiencing the flu season, which further challenges the health system and complicates issues surrounding COVID-19.
We would like to ask the public that if they have flu-like symptoms, to call the hotline.
He says more persons are anxious due to the flu season and are showing up at the Dominica China Friendship Hospital unannounced. Dominicans are reminded of the no visitation policy at the hospital to mitigate against the spread of COVID-19 and advises persons to call the hotline. The hotline numbers are 448-2151, 448-2153, 448-2156, 611-4325, and the toll number 1-800-219. Executive Director of the National Telecoms Regulatory Commission, Craig Nesty, says NTRC plays a critical role in ensuring that consumers of the various telecommunication services are treated fairly. The National Telecommunications Regulatory Commission was established to coordinate an effective regulatory regime to enhance the operations of the telecommunications in the interest of sustainable development of Dominica. Mr. Nestis says it is important for the public to be educated on the importance of NTRC in these technological times.
In terms of telecommunications, we like I said before, we're responsible for licensing the providers. We're also responsible for ensuring that the consumers are treated fairly. We're responsible for basically managing the dispute resolution regulation. So if a customer has a dispute with a telecommunications provider, they can file a complaint with that telecommunications provider, and the provider is supposed to respond to that complaint within 30 days. And within 30 days, if the provider and the consumer cannot come to an amicable solution, then either one of them can then file for help with the commission, and then the commission gets involved in resolution of that matter.
Mr. Nestis says the NTRC has created a subscribers group which is being used to do surveys to get feedback from the consumers, which are then used to develop policies.
So I would encourage everyone in Dominica to join that group. Normally we probably put one question a week, and we use the answers from that question to drive policies at the regional level. We're very pleased that in the last retail tariff regulatory regime consultation document, NTRC Dominica was able to say that 80% of our consumers do not want, when their mobile data finishes, for them to be charged out of plan rates, right? And we were able to do that because we conducted a survey post-Hurricane Maria where you, the public, responded saying that you do not want that feature in the mobile service. Ectel, on the other hand, had a completely different perspective of what the public wants, and they were ready to enact laws that was against what the public were demanding. So it's very important that the Dominican public participate in those type of services.
The fund will encourage efficient access to and use of the telecommunication network and services throughout Dominica, and will also ensure the reasonable availability and affordability of basic and advanced telecommunication services, where commercial telecommunications market may be unable to deliver such services in a financially sustainable manner independently and also to the physically challenged, elderly, and indigent communities. The late Felix Henderson will be laid to rest in his native community of Grand Bay following a funeral at the People's Pentecostal Church at 9 a.m. on Saturday, November 28, 2020. Mr. Felix Henderson will be remembered by the media fraternity in Dominica and by many for his contribution to his efforts at preserving Dominica's Creole language. On behalf of the management and staff of the Government Information Service, we extend our deepest sympathies to the family, friends, and colleagues of the late Felix Henderson. The Creole icon died on November 10 after battle with illness. And now your weather update. A surface to mid-level trough is expected to affect most of the Lesser Antilles during the next 24 to 48 hours. Relatively light winds and occasional cloudiness with a few showers are anticipated across the northern portion of the island chain during the period. Meanwhile, scattered showers and a chance of thunderstorms are expected to persist across the southern portion of the island chain. From late Saturday and into Sunday, an increase in moisture and instability is expected across the area, increasing the chance of scattered showers and possible thunderstorm activity. Moderate sea conditions are expected during the next 24 to 36 hours, with northerly swells peaking near 7 feet. Small craft operators and sea bathers should exercise caution. And that's all for this edition of National Focus. Be sure to follow GIS Dominica on Facebook, YouTube, as well as on Twitter. You can also drop us an email at gis@dominica.gov.dm. From all of us here on the GIS News Production team, I am Octavia Prosper. Thanks for watching.